On this week's episode of BJ in the Morning, we're finally gonna finish this bracket of spoof movies. Finally. Let's go.
Welcome to BJ in the Morning. I'm Juan.
And I'm Brendan. Thanks for doing that because I couldn't see the cues for when the music ended.
Just like,
Yep. Thanks. So yeah, we're coming at you right away. We just finished recording round 2. Now we're on to round 3 of our spoof movie bracket.
Round 3. And we're going to finish it.
We're going to finish it. And
we're doing quarterfinals, semifinals,
finals.
Quarter, semi.
Yeah,
what the
fix
heck?
Your hair, dude.
What the heck?
So anytime we record more than one episode, the second episode always gets a little unhinged. So I'm ready for it. We're gonna do it. But let's give you a little recap of what it's looking like in the quarterfinals. We have basketball versus Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oof.
We have Tropic Thunder versus Shaun of the Dead. Austin Powers versus Kung Pao, Enter the Fist, and Scary Movie versus Galaxy Quest. The cool thing is we've talked about all of these movies, so we don't really need to talk about the synopsis and the years and everything.
Pretty fast. And if you haven't watched episode 1 or episode 2, what are you doing?
This ain't Star Wars. You don't start at episode 3 and work your way back.
You don't get to start at the quarterfinals. Go listen to what we thought about the other movies. Go listen to our descriptions of the synopsis and the confusing synopsis of Galaxy Quest because
whoever wrote that,
I messed it up hardcore, and they're throwing in words I've never read out loud before. All right? But this is going to be fairly quick. We got to do 3 rounds right now.
Yeah.
But like we mentioned, we've read it. We've mentioned the years. We're just going to talk about what we think about each movie,
how they made us feel, and why they're moving forward. Sweet. You want to jump in?
Sure. What's first on the list? Basketball
and
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Robin Hood Men in Tights, yeah. So out of these 2 movies, they both feel like spoof movies. They both have the comedy we're looking for. But one of them has to fit the mold of a spoof movie better than the other to move forward from this round.
So looking at Basketball, it's a spoof on sports movies.
Yeah.
Underdog stories.
Yeah. Kind of romantic comedies in a sense, you know.
I guess.
Because every movie has to have that plot line in it now. But Robin Hood
Men in Tights, it's a spoof just straight up Robin Hood. It's Robin Hood.
And the reason this movie got made when it got made is because like 5 other Robin Hood movies were being made at the same time. You know how many people have played Robin Hood now? Like 27.
At least.
So this is one of those ones that just fell into a ton of other Robin Hood movies coming out. When I think Robin Hood, this is not the first movie that comes to mind, but it is the second. You know,
the first one is
the animated one
with the fox and the bear
and the rooster that sings the song that's so catchy. I'm not gonna hum it now because it'll be stuck in everybody's.
Hum it.
No,
do it.
I'll put it in later.
No, do it now.
Anyways, let's keep going. Robin Hood Men in Tights. I think, I think about this movie before I think of basketball. To be honest, I love basketball. It's one of those movies I saw because South Park. You know, I was trying to find out. I'm not a huge South Park fan. There's parts of South Park that I think are great. I thought the Stick of Truth video game and the Fractured But Whole were really great games. But I think Matt and Trey do other things better. You know what I mean? Like for me, right? So basketball, the other movie they did called Orgasmo. Have you heard of this movie?
No.
Have you heard of this movie? So it's, anyways, quick. I'm quick. It's about two Mormon missionaries. They're on their mission, right? He wants to marry his girlfriend. So he needs money. He becomes a porn star.
Oh.
But he has to hide his face all the time because he's a Mormon.
Oh.
It's really messed up.
Crazy.
But it's kind of funny. But Basketball, I think, might be one of their better live action movies. That and Team America, I think they're in that order. But out of these two movies, man, Robin Hood for me is the clearer spoof movie, and it's more enjoyable to watch. It's a family-friendly movie at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's more family-friendly, at least. I mean, there's still some stuff in there with the chastity belts and...
Yeah, but it's like purposely, censored in a way, where the adults will get it and the kids will not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm going Robin Hood.
I think we have to. I think out of these two, it's definitely Robin Hood. So, let's move on.
I'm on the West Bank. Now I'm on the East Bank.
Is that the pink with the bridge?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the tiny little bridge?
Mm-hmm. I can't swim.
Yeah.
Help! I can't swim.
I feel like I'm going to go home and watch this movie now because I haven't seen it in so long. Next on the list, we have Tropic Thunder and Shaun of the Dead. Both of these movies easily could be on my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Tropic Thunder.
And Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. Okay. Did you say both movies?
Both of these
top
movies.
10?
Could be top 10 movies for me.
Mm-hmm. I see.
I think, for me, Shaun of the Dead, I feel closer connected with Shaun of the Dead because it kind of inspired my love of Edgar Wright. Mm-hmm. So it spawned me like following his career. But Tropic Thunder is such a crazy, wild concept, and they pulled it off really well. Mm. So that's where I'm going to leave it for now, and you can have your words on these two movies.
Well, I like the fact that Shaun of the Dead does have its horror elements, so it didn't make zombies cheesy.
Right. They're still zombies.
Yeah.
But the people handling the zombies are cheesy. You know what I mean? They're
zombie
funny.
Handlers.
Yeah, like the non-zombie characters in
dealing
the movie.
With the zombies. Yep. Mm-hmm. Tropic Thunder is iconic in it with its own right. Mm-hmm. But there are things in Tropic Thunder that doesn't scream spoof to me. Yeah. In comparison to Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah. I understand. I see what you're putting down.
You see what I'm putting down? You picking up what I'm putting down?
I'm gonna. Because in my head right now, all I can see is the scene where they meet Mary in the garden, who's the first zombie they encounter, and they're throwing records at her face.
Yeah.
And there's like the hole in her chest because they pushed her onto a flagpole holder thing. I think that's what it was. But Shaun of the Dead has worked its way into so much media now that any zombie game that comes out now has the cricket bat as a weapon you're going to use, and it's because of this movie. You know what I mean? So Tropic Thunder has its place.
It is a spoof, but I feel like it's just a comedy movie on its own compared to Shaun of the Dead, which is a spoof on
the zombie movies.
Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead.
And it's not slapsticky. It's not like scary movie funny. It's situations happen to a normal guy, which is what the whole premise of the movie is, right? At the end of the day, it's a normal guy going through something crazy. Yeah. And it's more of a romance movie than it is a zombie movie altogether. But man, Shaun of the Dead makes me laugh still to this day. So does Tropic Thunder, but I'm putting it in for Shaun of the Dead, and I think that's an easy one.
I'm going Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead.
Artie agrees. He's still here, by the way. We didn't say that at the beginning of the episode.
We still have our tiebreaker.
Just in case. We really... we needed you, what, once last game? Yeah.
And there was only one he didn't agree with.
But we don't care. It's our show.
No, we don't give a shit.
But now
I
we
have
got
to sneeze so bad, and it's not.
squirrel.
Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you.
God bless.
Holy crap! All right. What's next on this
Austin Powers versus Kung Pao.
Ooh.
Enter the Fist.
Ooh.
This is a tricky one.
Ooh.
They both are really solid movies. And during our break right now, between us shooting episode 2 and episode 3, we were watching clips of Kung Pao, cracking up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to spoof movies, which one does it better?
Kung Pao has an acquired taste.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be easily disliked.
Yeah,
by
I could see
people.
that. But I think you could say the same about Austin Powers.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But Austin Powers is I'm trying to find a different word, but it's iconic.
Mm-hmm.
It's iconic. And I wanted to find a different word because I used it for Tropic Thunder, but it is iconic. Mike Myers is a comedic genius.
Yeah, especially in this era. I just remember watching the first 2 Austin Powers movies on VHS anytime I was sick, like homesick from school.
Mm-hmm.
That was my comfort movies as a younger child.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't have been watching them because they're definitely for like a little bit older.
But I can see the acquired taste for Kung Pao to where someone would dislike it because it's boring and too stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And for Austin Powers, if someone's going to dislike it, is because Austin Powers is annoying.
Yeah.
And for me, I mean, obviously in Austin Powers, that's the point.
Right.
He is annoying.
Right.
He is kind of dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the greatest
spy
ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
And it's a clear spoof on spy movies, especially James Bond 007.
So, just moving quickly in this quarterfinals, I'm going Austin Powers.
I think I'm going to do the same.
I'm going Austin Powers. Austin Powers? Austin Powers.
Artie agrees. Are you ready for the next round?
Yeah.
I think this one might be tricky. Because it's Scary Movie versus Galaxy Quest.
Oh.
All right. You want to start this one?
Scary Movie.
Mm-hmm.
I can quote lines from Scary Movie until the day I die. And there's one quote that I quote that nobody ever gets, and I love it.
Yeah.
Do you know the quote?
No, you haven't said it yet.
Do you know the quote? I've said it at least 4 times since recording the first episode.
Okay.
The first episode of this
no, I get
series.
You. Yeah.
Can you guess? When they hit the guy with the car and they get out of the car, it's like, oh my God, there's a shoe. He goes, where's the foot?
Yeah.
I think that is the funniest line in that whole fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but I love it so much. Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest.
If you haven't noticed,
you like Star Wars and Star Trek?
If you haven't noticed,
it's an audio podcast mostly. So verbally say what you're doing.
I have a tattoo.
A tattoo?
A Star Trek tattoo on my finger.
Yeah.
Not just like in a random place, right? It's not hidden. It's not hidden by a shirt.
What are you trying to say?
Nothing.
Okay.
It's on my finger.
For everyone to see. And it's on your middle finger.
I love it. I love my tattoo.
You should.
Either way.
Mm-hmm.
I love Star Trek. I love Star Wars. Now, the fact that this movie is a spoof on Star Trek it does a really good job, but it also does a really good job standing alone.
Yeah, I feel. Sorry, I'm gonna cut in.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Galaxy Quest feels more like a spoof on. It feels like a spoof on Star Trek. Only like in the middle at some places, but the rest of the movie is not about that show.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the actors who were on that show, and now they have to deal with it becoming real life. So it feels more like it's inspired by rather than spoofing on.
Yeah.
And Scary Movie obviously is like, oh, that horror movie?
Full on spoof. Yeah.
F that movie.
Scary Movie. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
You mean Scream?
Oh. Scream.
Which is funny because that's the original title of Scream was Scary Movie.
Yeah.
And then they switched it.
To stab.
No, to Scream.
Right.
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 Scare. Oh, shit. Scream. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Other movies.
Haunted House. Right? We're going
House on
on
Haunted
Scary
Hill.
Movie 2, blah, blah, blah.
House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah.
13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts.
Other movie. Poltergeist.
Other movies. Poltergeist. Yeah. What else did they do?
They did so many that.
Signs.
Yeah. That was in like the third one, right?
The third one.
With Lindsay Lohan and Charlie Sheen, or was that the fourth one?
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
Sheen.
When it comes to spoof movies, it's like you said, Galaxy Quest stands on its own. It's not really spoofing on Star Trek. It's about the characters who were on a knockoff Star Trek. Scary Movies, 100% a spoof. So I think Scary Movies got to move on just in this context.
Yeah. I agree. It's unfortunate because Galaxy Quest got a stacked cast.
Stacked cast. All right, semifinals.
Oh,
hit the music.
We're there already. Is that John Cena?
Yeah.
That's John Cena.
Yeah. Not in any of these movies.
So we're at the semifinals.
For our first round of the semifinals, we have Robin Hood Men in Tights versus Shaun of the Dead. And the second round, we have Austin Powers and Scary Movie.
Ugh, it's getting tight.
Do we have any predictions of what's going to win?
I do.
Do you have a prediction of what's going to win?
Don't tell us.
Don't tell us. I just want to know. Okay. He kind of has an idea. Do you have an idea?
Yeah.
I think I do too. Let's just skip to the end.
All right. The winner is...
all right. Let's start with Austin Powers and Scary Movie this time.
Okay.
Both clearly spoof movies.
Yep.
Both spoofing on a genre of films more so than just one singular film.
Yep.
Or story.
Yep.
Both have slapstick comedy. They're both really silly.
Yep.
Both kind of raunchy.
Yep.
This is a tough one.
Hello? What are you doing?
Chilling.
Killing.
What's up?
What's up?
I think it's an easy...
Hey, pick up the phone. Hello? What's up? Anyway.
I think Scary Movie has a lot of jokes and humor from the time, being an early 2000s movie. It spawned an entire, like we said, renaissance of spoof movies. Because the first two Scary Movies are really solid movies. While being utterly insane, kind of disgusting, stupid at times, they're really good movies. You know what I mean? Like, they're fun to watch. I think I saw Scary Movie before I saw Scream.
Yeah.
Whereas Austin Powers, like I said, it's a comfort movie.
It's a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trilogy. It's a great trilogy.
It's convoluted at times. The plot doesn't make sense all the time.
It ends at that, though.
Yeah.
It ends at the 3 movies.
Yeah. Kind of. They set up another one. You know? Where Scott's trying to take over.
What?
Yeah, when
I
he
don't
shaves
know.
his head. You don't remember?
Oh, they set up another movie.
Yeah,
That's
what I
what you're
said.
saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
But also, that's so classic of movies in general, especially like spy movies and like things like that. They set up another one because they're going to plan to make 55 James Bond movies with 17 different actors.
Yeah. Because James Bond, spoiler alert, is a Time Lord. Deep cut.
Just a code name. Because everyone knows James Bond, he's the worst spy in the world.
But he makes a lot of love.
In all the wrong places.
So I'm just going to say it. I'm going scary movie. It's hard. It's a hard decision. I'm going scary movie. Scary movie spawned so many other ideas. And Austin Powers just ended at the trilogy.
Yeah.
Scary movie.
I think I agree.
Scary movie.
Yeah.
This is getting tough.
It's getting tough, but also I feel like it's getting too easy. Because now we have Shaun of the Dead versus Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
Two vastly different feeling movies. You know what I mean? Robin Hood Men in Tights, musical comedy. It's a family-friendly affair. Lots of people love this movie. And then there's Shaun of the Dead, which is a cult classic, which kind of went under the radar. Not a lot of people watched it when it first came out, but it spawned an entire career for Edgar Wright, who has now made movies and TV shows and all these other things, kind of just doing his thing.
And like I said before, it actually has horror elements in it. And really cool action sequences.
Yeah, and like the whole fight scene in the bar where they're beating up the bar, like guy who owns the bar, to the beat of "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen, which is very Edgar Wright style, where things happen like they're queued up to music. It's such a cool, innovative feeling movie, but it also feels grounded and like familiar in a way, you know, because of the setting of zombie apocalypse, which has been done millions upon millions of times. So, and
this is hard. Two completely different movies.
Yep.
Are we just gonna go for it?
I'm not sure what you're feeling.
I'm making my decision. My decision is being made solely on the type of humor.
Okay. Should we say it at the same time?
Okay.
Just because if we say the same thing, cool. If we say different things, that's why I got this guy over here.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Shaun of the Dead.
Men in Tights.
You didn't say what you were going to say.
I know, but yeah. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Robin Hood,
Men in Tights.
Okay, so we're split. We're divided.
And I'm going Robin Hood Men in Tights because of the type of humor that it is.
Yeah.
And how witty it is. And how
it's Mel Brooks, you know?
I love the humor that can easily go over people's heads. I love it.
Yeah.
So I'm going Robin Hood Men in Tights. You're going Shaun of the Dead.
And it's because Shaun of the Dead is in my top 5 favorite movies.
Got it.
So, Artie, this is where you come in. This is the hardest decision you're ever going to have to make on the podcast, and you're not even on the podcast.
What's it going to be?
What you feeling? Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead.
Might be an upset. Might be an upset round for people listening. But Shaun of the Dead is so good.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it. But I prefer the I prefer the humor in Men in Tights. Generally, I would say.
I get that.
Shaun of the Dead.
The finals. Here we are. We made it.
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead
versus Scary Movie.
2 horror movies, right?
Yeah.
Spoofing on horror genres. You got one raunchy, crazy, wild, hilarious comedy, and then one more grounded, more, I don't want to say realistic, but like more relatable comedy with horror elements. I think it's crazy that 2 horror movies got to the top for us.
Yeah.
But I made a prediction of what movie was going to win on round 1, and it was wrong by round 2. And my second prediction, I made right at the beginning of round 2, and here we are. One of these movies was my prediction.
My prediction was Men in Tights.
For the top?
From the beginning.
Yeah. Mine was a Scary Movie.
Yeah.
What was yours? Scary Movie?
Scary Movie.
And I think, as much as I love Shaun of the Dead,
I think we have a clear winner here.
And I think it's because of not only nostalgia, but also the renaissance of spoof movies we saw because of Scary Movie.
Which was a very big part of our decisions.
Yeah, and a lot of it, came down to that 8-9 year span where these stupid spoof movies kept coming out, and they were like almost made for teenage male brains at the time, right?
Yeah.
Like they were, right? The humor is that, but I feel like the first 2 Scary Movies, which is honestly what we've kind of been basing the whole thing on, the first 2 Scary movies are really good for what they are. They're gross, disgusting, yes, but they're hilarious, and they play homage to what they're spoofing very well, to where when I saw Scary Movie before I saw Scream, I thought Scary Movie was what was first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a kid.
Yeah.
So, to be fair, I saw Scary Movie for the first time on Comedy Central with commercials and edited, so it was a lot different my first viewing than it was later on in life.
Yeah.
Gladly, I would choose Shaun of the Dead over Scary Movie any day. But for the sake of spoof movies, I think it's Scary Movie.
It's gotta be Scary Movie.
I think Scary Movie is our top pick. You agree?
Clear winner.
You agree?
Clear
Mother?
winner.
Also, by the way, Mother's back.
She's still here.
She left.
She was buried.
She took a nap over summer. She's one of those snowbirds,
Yeah, she doesn't
left
like
for the
the
summer.
heat.
Not sure when she's coming back. Maybe closer to fall, though. She's still not ready to be on camera again. But Mother agrees that Shaun of the Dead is a better movie, but Scary Movie fits into first place here.
It's unanimous.
It's a unanimous decision that the official ranking of BJ in the Morning, Scary Movie is number 1.
Official ranking of top spoof movie. Scary Movie.
Scary Movie.
Crazy.
I feel like we knew it from the start.
Yeah, I was really rooting for Men in Tights.
Yeah.
I hold that movie very close to my heart. It's a big part of my childhood. Same with a big letdown, Spaceballs. Didn't move forward. But Mel Brooks, he's a goat, dude.
Yeah.
He's great, and he's still alive.
Yeah.
Pretty close to 100 years old.
Yeah, he's up there.
And he's going to come out with another Spaceballs movie?
That sounds crazy to me, but I'm excited, and I hope it happens.
Yeah. But with that said, Scary Movie is on top.
On top. It's the number 1.
Done deal.
It just makes sense.
Right.
It's
it just
the
makes sense.
spoof movie.
It just makes sense. It just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, my first pick, though, when we started was Not Another Teen Movie. I think that movie is a solid movie, all in all, even with the spoof attributes.
We had a lot of tough choices to make here.
And the weirdest part to me is thinking about viewers' perspectives. They watch this and they play along, whatever. It's not that hard for you and me to agree on things because we've grown up together.
Right.
I'm sure we'll figure out a bracket one day where we probably will yell at each other.
One day.
But it isn't this bracket.
Today is not that day.
The last bracket wasn't that bracket. And the first bracket, again, wasn't that bracket.
We only needed 2 tiebreakers?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I feel like they were good tiebreakers.
Yeah.
So it's pretty impartial, honestly. But that's it for our spoof movie bracket. Not another spoof bracket.
If you enjoyed this bracket, put it down and talk.
Make some racket in the comments.
Make some bracket.
Some racket.
If you like this bracket, make some racket in the comments.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Can you describe the ruckus?
If you hated this bracket,
also
make some racket.
Yeah, tell us
in the comments.
Were you upset by any of our choices? We're waiting. I don't think they're gonna say anything.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. It is what it is. We made it this far. The end of the bracket. It was a hard one. It was a long one.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of movies. We talked about so many different movies. It was a wild ride. We've reached the end of the journey.
Twas.
But thank you so much for listening to this episode of BJ in the Morning. Make sure, if you want to see clips, if you want to interact with us, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at
BJ in the Morning _.
If you want to watch the podcast, because we already know you're listening to it on like Spotify or Apple or Google or whatever you're listening to. But if you want to watch it, head on over to YouTube at
BJ in the Morning Podcast,
where you should
subscribe
and like, comment, share the video,
and
send this video to Anna Faris from Scary Movie.
Sure.
Send it to the Wayans
and
Carrie Ells.
You're gonna stab that bell. You're gonna stab the bell because of Scary Movie. Stab.
The Scream movie. Stab.
Blah, 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 all that. You're gonna stab the bell.
Ginseng and the honey.
So you can get notifications on YouTube.
Yeah, for whenever we post any kind of content.
That's all I gotta say. I'm not saying anything else.
All right, I'll finish it up then. Cool? Okay. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of BJ in the Morning. I'm Brendan. This is Juan. And we will talk to you next time.